Strong words from U.S. President Joe Biden as the drama deepens between Moscow and Washington.
We continue to urge diplomacy as the best way forward. But with Russia's continuing its buildup of its forces around Ukraine, we are ready no matter what happens.
Washington is talking tough as Russian President Vladimir Putin continues to deploy thousands of troops along the Ukrainian border, not just within Russian territory, but also in Belarus. The White House says more than 105,000 Russian troops nearly encircle Ukraine. Russia objects to Ukraine's attempt to join the North Atlantic Treaty Organization and has demanded that the U.S., the most powerful member of the Collective Security Alliance, bar Ukraine's entry. The top U.S. diplomat at the United Nations on Monday called for the Security Council to discuss the matter publicly after months of private discussions between the U.S. and Russia.
The situation we're facing in Europe is urgent and dangerous, and the stakes for Ukraine and for every UN member state could not be higher. Russia's actions strike at the very heart of the UN Charter. This is as clear and consequential a threat to peace and security as anyone can imagine.
Russia fired back with its ambassador saying it does not intend to invade.
You want it to happen. You're waiting for it to happen, as if you want to make your words become a reality. This is despite the fact that we are constantly rejecting these allegations. And this is despite the fact that no threat of a planned invasion into Ukraine from the lips of any Russian politician or public figure over all of this period has been made.
The dispute between two nuclear-armed nations is about more than differing worldviews, says analyst Angela Stent, speaking to VOA via Skype. A stable Europe is central to U.S. interests, and sending more than $200 million worth of security assistance to non-NATO Ukraine is part of that.
It's not only ideology, it's security. I mean, it's, a system of alliances and a stable European continent, which are in the U.S.'s interests. We don't live in isolation. We're a very large island with two neighbors, right? We're a continent. But so it's more than that. It's not about ideology. It's about power politics, but it's also about principles, which do have to do with territorial integrity and sovereignty.
Meanwhile, Russia and top U.S. rival China have become ever closer. Beijing expressed its dissatisfaction when Russia invaded Georgia as China was hosting the 2008 Olympics. The Chinese capital will host the Winter Games starting this week. With the U.S. threatening heavy sanctions against Russia, and even against Putin himself, Moscow will need support from the world's second-largest economy if it invades Ukraine. Analysts say this could play out slowly as the Olympics take center stage and Washington continues to remind Moscow of the consequences of an invasion.
If it does move into Ukraine, then the economic measures that the United States and others are going to bring to bear, to a certain extent, will push them even further into a junior relationship with China, which is just going to hurt their economy in the long run. I don't really see a lot of strong outcomes here. So that's one of the reasons why I think that the diplomatic outcome might still be on the table, but Russia's going to try to let the clock run as long as possible to let us feel uncomfortable.
And so, as the games begin in Beijing and military positioning continues on both sides of Ukraine's border, the diplomatic standoff between distant rivals endures. Anita Powell, VOA News, Washington.